Speech is silver, silence is gold. We've all heard this, but how many of us truly practice it? Well, to be fair, it is hard. We live in a world dominated by noise, whether it's honking cars, doom-scrolling reels, white noise to sleep, podcasts on your run. We are always listening to something. 1.1 billion of us are subscribed to some music streaming service or the other. Podcast streams have doubled in the last 6 years. Audiobook sales are up by 94%. So we are constantly overstimulated. The buzz around us has become a way of life, almost like an addiction. So our question tonight is this: are we overdosing? Are we subjecting ourselves to too much sound? Do we need a moment of silence? Well, here's what science says. Sound is good, but constant exposure is not healthy. And loud noise is especially bad. I guess we all knew this already. It leads to elevated heart rates, increased blood pressure, and even a flood of stress hormones. It hampers concentration, raises the risk of cardiovascular disease, even depression. So what should you do? Embrace silence. And how do you do it? Well, here's what experts say. At least one meal in the day should be consumed in silence, preferably breakfast, which does not really mean eating alone. It means eating without gadgets, focusing on your food. There is something called the crunch effect. Apparently, if you can hear yourself chewing food, you end up consuming less of it. But if that's not your thing, you could try other ways. There are lots of new trends. Silence seems to be the new hot commodity. Trust Gen Z to turn silence into a vibe too. Take silent walks, for example. It's the new favorite on TikTok. And it's as simple as it sounds. You go on a walk without headphones. You can't listen to music, podcasts, or anything else. You focus on your surroundings with your mind in the present. It's a bit like meditation, only here you're walking. Then there's something called silent travel. What does that mean? Well, a whole lot of things. Meditation retreats, digital detox cabins, or even just a night camping in the middle of nowhere. The idea is quite simple. Disconnect with the world, reconnect with yourself. It's a practice that is growing in popularity. Silent travel was named one of the top travel trends of 2024, and we get why. Endure a crying baby on a plane, and suddenly silence seems precious. But it's not new. Silence has been cherished through centuries. In Christianity, it's a form of devotion. In Hinduism, it's a form of awareness. We have something called Maun, the sacred practice of remaining silent intentionally. In Buddhism, silence is noble. It's a way to achieve inner peace. Socrates talked about listening before speaking. Silence also has cultural significance. Asian and Nordic countries value it. In Asian cultures, silence is a form of respect. In Nordic nations, it signifies careful thought. Plus, it's a psychologically powerful tool. It makes you more self-aware. It helps regulate emotions. It can also be a form of communication. Sometimes, silence can convey more than words. But it's not all great. Silence doesn't always have the best reputation. It can also be seen as passive-aggressive. It could be a barrier to communication. It can be manipulative. It can also affect your mental health. Too much silence could be detrimental too. So what's the right balance? Well, for starters, understand what silence means to you. For an introvert, it's a way of life. For a dictator, it's a tool of oppression. And for a busy mother, it's 2 minutes of mental peace. Silence means different things to different people. How then do we embrace it? Well, it doesn't have to be TikTok trends or elaborate hashtags. Silence is not a novelty, really. You don't need to spend hundreds of dollars stuck in a mountain without network. There's actually a short and sweet way to do it. It's called staying quiet. In a world overrun by words, saying absolutely nothing sometimes can be a fine art. Maybe we can start with that.
Across continents, one powerful news source.
Bringing you diverse perspectives on the issues that matter.
We go beyond the boundaries to give you that little extra about every sporting moment.
So thank you for making Firstpost 5 million strong. We're counting on your support, and you can trust us to bring you the news unfiltered and unvarnished.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree for humanity, one tree for Mother Earth, one tree for our future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.
On the show today, the T20 World Cup bandwagon has moved across to the West Indies. What can you expect from this?
Hello, I'm Alison Green, coming to you from Durban, South Africa. Today we have a special show.
Start with a report on India's shifting nuclear posture. For the first time since India officially became a nuclear power.
Hello and welcome to Firstpost America. I'm Eric Ham, coming to you live from the nation's capital in Washington, D.C.